everyone, and welcome back to Two Bros Hot Takes, where we watch a movie and then tell you if you should watch a movie. I'm your movie watching host, Older Bro.
I'm your other movie watching host, Younger Bro.
And today, we return with another goddamn dirty ape movie.
Yep, we're back with Planet of the Apes, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Kingdom of the Dawn of the Rise of the War of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, so,
We went and watched it. It was a very normal movie theater experience today. Not too bad.
not too bad. Like our audience was a bit disrupted during the previews, but it went quiet as soon as the movie started. But when it had funny moments, everybody laughed, so it was average.
It was a pretty good movie watching experience.
But yeah, this was a fairly interesting movie, I gotta say.
Yeah, there was a lot going on in this movie.
A lot of references too.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, I have not watched many of these movies all the way through and have seen minor bits of, like, 2 of them. So I have pretty much no knowledge of them, and I definitely haven't seen any of the old ones. So if they reference any of those, I couldn't have possibly picked up on it. So that will all be for Younger Bro to talk about.
Yep, I have watched every single Planet of the Apes movie.
Yep.
Every single one, including the ones that were reboots.
Yeah.
I watched all the series, all the movies.
Yep. So yeah, honestly, so my non-knowledgeable opinion of the movie, it's fine. Like it was an okay movie.
Yeah,
I didn't. Yeah.
For the
Quite satisfying.
4th film in this series, it was pretty good. I didn't hate it. I don't know if it was as good as War. It was better than the first movie. And it probably wasn't better than Dawn. Like, War and Dawn were pretty freaking epic.
The big thing at this point, though, is we are now at the point where there is no longer Caesar. We are now in a new generation. So that's kind of one of the big. I mean, it's not exactly a disappointment, but it's like Caesar was kind of one of the big. I mean, he was the big character in the movie, the thing that everyone rallied behind. So it's weird seeing a movie. I know this franchise started without him, but it's weird seeing a movie that doesn't have him in it.
I mean, he was in it. It was his memorial service at the start of the movie.
Yeah, but it's like whatever.
So, but we're saying like he's dead.
Yeah,
like it is confirmed he did die.
Yeah, I don't think that that's a spoiler to literally anyone who's seen any photos of this movie, where it is very clear that somebody else is the main character. So,
yeah. A lot of people were saying that this new ape was going to be Caesar's son, and no, it's not.
Yeah. No.
Is he related to him? We don't.
I mean, who knows?
Probably.
Yeah, who knows? He is an ape. That's all we really know.
It is a new ape.
Yeah. Many generations later.
Yes, we don't know how long that is for apes necessarily.
I'm going to guess shorter than for people. It seemed from this movie.
I want to say it's about 10 years later.
I don't think it's quite that short. I think it's probably like it's probably 50, 60 years later at minimum. Maybe like 100, 120. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how long it takes for vegetation to, reclaim, like, building structures and stuff.
Hundreds of years, normally. But I get this feeling that it isn't actually following the X number of days after people logic, where it's like some 1,000 years or something. I'm pretty sure it's not that long. So I'm going to say like 100 years.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Unclear.
But anyway, it is a really good movie. I'd say it's worth your time.
Yeah, like it's very, there's a lot of drama in it. It's good, like it has a lot of serious moments. Very enjoyable.
Yeah, and the world building is great too. Like I love the reactions of the apes to human civilization. Like that's good.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all I've really got to talk about in this movie. It's like the music wasn't really of any note. Like it was fine. Like there was average background music in the background.
Yep.
There's nothing really to go over in the non-spoiler section. So if you enjoyed the other movies, you're probably going to enjoy this one. If you didn't enjoy the other movies, you probably aren't going to enjoy this one. It is just a fine new movie in this franchise. So, okay, on to the more spoiler section, since we sort of were already talking a little bit about the plot of the movie in the non-spoiler section, but it didn't matter. Whatever.
So, Caesar's dead. We see his memorial service at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, very, very sad.
And then many generations later, we are introduced to our new lead, which is Noah.
Yeah.
And
the eagle breeder's son, or the eagle trainer's son.
Yeah, I don't know if Noah is a name from the original movies. I don't think it is.
I don't think so, but I don't know the originals. So.
Yeah, so pretty much all the civilizations and places we see is completely new to the franchise. There's not really any
I was gonna say outside of
references.
Outside of the towers that you see, like the remnants of skyscrapers that have been clearly destroyed over time, which are again based on pretty much any knowledge of this franchise in San Francisco.
Yes.
And except for the zebras, which presumably are from the San Diego Zoo, or no, not San Diego, San Francisco. I don't know what zoo there is around there, but like whatever zoo is nearby to San Francisco.
Yeah, but that's probably from the zoo.
Yeah, outside of that, there isn't really a lot they go into that's like, this is obviously this place.
Yeah, so I don't know where to begin.
Yeah, that's the thing about this movie is there was a lot of character, they're like world building, but there wasn't a lot of moments that were like super standout moments that are like, we need to talk about this. It's just a lot of the movie, like for the first 2/3 of the movie, it is they live in their village. They go out and explore the world. Their village is destroyed. They go out and explore the world some more, going after the people who destroyed their village.
This is like very much almost a buddy adventure movie.
I was going to describe it a lot like it kind of felt like a Lion King style movie of like his entire village was destroyed. Now he must go on a life journey to recover the people that were stolen from him. And it's like, it's just a lot of like, I don't even want to call it an adventure story, because like when I think of an adventure story, I'm thinking of things like in anime, you're seeing like Goku wandering around and like meeting these new characters and fighting people, or you're seeing like grand epic stories. This is very much just like he goes out, he talks to two people, and then ends up at the destination. So there isn't a whole lot of like actual exploration, even though they are traveling. It kind of does fit into that buddy cop, but again, they don't have enough dialogue for that.
I mean, you could look at the human as the traveling buddy rather than the orangutan.
Sure.
The orangutan is more the teacher that he finds.
But honestly, he has more dialogue with him than the person. At least until like 2/3 of the way through the movie.
Yeah, so there's only 2 moments in this entire movie that really stood out to me.
Mm-hmm.
One was when the girl that was called Nova at first, who is actually May, screamed out Noah's name. Yeah. That might have been a callback to, I think it was either the second or third movie, where it was about the astronaut again, and he finds somebody else who crash lands on their planet. Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was a time machine in that movie or if they had to stop some rocket. But anyway, while the astronaut we knew from the first movie was being beat up, his girlfriend, who was mute and acted like a wild animal, screamed his name. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that reminds me of that. I wonder. Yeah. I kind of figured that was going to happen.
Yeah, and that's pretty, I think that's pretty standard for this franchise, because the whole lore of the humans is they're supposed to, the ones that are out in the world that you see are more or less all mute. all of them have lost the ability to talk. And I don't know how much the virus was a thing in the original movie. Because they specifically have a text scroll at the very beginning of the movie talking about the fact that the apes got smarter due to it started out as a medicine, but I guess it has mutated into like a virus now at this point, basically.
With the original movies, there was the plan was to like genetically enhance apes. That was the original.
But was the original lore that humans stopped being able to speak because the same virus that affected the apes made them stupider? Because that's literally what this movie sets up, of like, it infected the people and made them stupider, and it affected the apes and made them smarter.
I think that is...
Vaguely?
Vaguely,
okay. Yeah. So, yeah, the context is any of the humans that are on the surface that have been affected by this virus are supposed to be stupid. They're not literally not able to talk. They're only able to do caveman communication, basically. They are meant to be like wild animals. So, yeah, that fits pretty well with the old movies, and even to some extent the newer movies.
Yeah, and then the other scene was when they got into the place that Proxima wants to get into.
Yeah.
They found a doll that said "Mama," and that was a famous scene from the first movie.
Yeah.
The first movie was the astronaut was trying to prove that the original civilization was human and not ape to the apes. And the only way he could do that was to... Well, he went to New York, and he didn't know. But he had to set out with these apes to prove it, in a way.
Yeah.
And when they got into this cave, he found a doll that says "Mama." He's like, a doll that says "Mama." Humans can't speak my ass.
Yeah.
That is basically what he said. So...
Yeah, that's one of the interesting things about this movie, is that it's clearly not that far in the future. We're not at astronauts land and the Statue of Liberty's buried future. We're at, like, it's been a few hundred years at most, and apes still know that people's talked.
Yes. So guys, me and older bro are predicting that these movies are going to lead up to the astronauts.
My prediction is that this movie is they're gonna take this franchise up until they redo that movie, because that is too iconic of a moment of the astronauts come down and you see the Statue of Liberty buried and be like, what the fuck is this?
You maniacs, you burned it up.
Yeah.
That's also famous from that movie.
Yeah. Now, I will say, I don't necessarily know that that the franchise is gonna stick with the direction that movie went afterwards, but I think that they will have that scene in future movies. Because right now it seems like the humans are still around. They are just underground.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, one of the things I did really like in this movie was they had the place that Proxima was trying to get to. The place almost reminded me of like a Fallout vault, or like something like
it's a bunker.
Yeah, it's just like, it is like to even call it a bunker is not accurate. Like, because you see in the scenes where they're running through there is like, they build an entire apartment complex underground. Like, they're literally built to look like
tanks and
stuff. There's tanks in there, but then also they have like the part where they're running through. You see building, like a building inside the underground bunker that's meant to look like an apartment complex with like, here's a hallway that goes down, here's windows, and here's a door of like, it's your apartment building.
That was interesting.
Yeah. So it reminded me of something like, like City of Ember, or definitely Fallout, of like, they're in this like nuclear fallout bunker to protect themselves from the apes that are trying to kill them and the virus that's trying to also sort of kill them.
Yeah, like, I am interested to see, like, what is going to happen with the future of this franchise. Are we going to lead to the astronauts landing or not?
Well, and the other thing is, what was the lore behind the astronauts? Because wasn't it some stupid, like, they went through a wormhole or some shit and somehow got sent to the future? Like, how the fuck did they get
they were doing a survey and they went into hypersleep.
Yeah.
Then I don't know if it was a wormhole necessarily, but there was some thing that happened.
They were stuck in hypersleep for a very long time, and when they wake back up and come back, it's
Yes.
And I don't think that's possible. I think that lore is impossible in this universe because I have to assume that the original Planet of the Apes franchise took place in the more future than now. Because like Caesar in the first movie, that's just normal Earth. Like we do not have hypersleep tech.
Yes.
The only thing that we have in that movie was they're trying to come up with a cure for Alzheimer's.
Yes.
Like it is just now Earth. So it's like it is impossible for the lore to be, oh, these they came out of hypersleep because we were doing some space tech mission. It's like that's impossible in this franchise.
Yeah, I don't know how it's gonna be.
Yeah. What I'm really interested in, because this movie definitely like has the scene where they're asking, like, they're talking about the fact that, well, this was our world, like we build all this stuff, and they're saying like, and what's his name?
Noah.
Yeah, Noah's saying like, well, are we supposed to go back and be stupid again? Are we supposed to go back to live in cages? And it's just like, yeah, the humans have created this world. This is their fault. And it may not have been intentionally their fault, but it's still their fault. They've created the apes that are their equals. And so it's, what do you do? What does this franchise do?
Yeah, like, I don't know how it's gonna be at all.
Yeah.
Like,
are we just gonna have humans live underground and apes live above ground and we will coexist by non-contact? Because like otherwise it's like I can't imagine we aren't just gonna end up killing each other again.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's gonna lead to a human ape civilization in the next movie and we can see everybody living side by side. But I wonder what it's gonna look like.
I don't know. But yeah, that's the only thing I can think of, because like, where else could this movie franchise go? Like, the apes currently run the surface basically, and the only humans that we see that matter are all below ground, and it's like, well, something's gonna have to happen. I'm just wondering how the hell they're all still living down there after like 200 years or however long it's been. Like, do they have like hydroponic gardens and stuff to grow food? Do they stockpile that much?
I don't. Like, I don't know the depth of like some Fallout shelters and structures.
Well, and I think a lot of games and stuff talking about them, they don't go into that much detail. It's just because Fallout shelters aren't meant to be you live down here forever. It's meant to be like
you live down there for like 30 years.
Yeah, it's meant to be like, oh, we set aside enough food so that we can live down here until the radiation dissipates enough that it's safe to go back to the surface. And that's like, yeah, maybe 5 to 10 years. Like, they're not looking for, 120 years of continuous human civilization with like several hundred people. It's meant for like your family for 30 years.
Yeah, like, the other way I'd probably describe this movie is almost like a Western in a way. Like, oh, this big bad guy shows up, kills my father, my wife, and kid, and then I go hunt him down.
I can definitely see that. I can see that angle. They definitely have a lot of horseback riding in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is definitely not a Western in any other
way.
But
it kind of
But
feels
I can
like
definitely see that. They definitely have the climactic fight scene.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I can see that.
And also the big gorilla bad guy reminds me of the first reboot where at the end of the movie, like, you see an Abraham Lincoln ape statue. It was that movie. That one of the bad guys in that movie was a big ape, and he says, "Get your hands off of me, you damn dirty human."
Yeah. That movie just doesn't make any damn sense.
No.
Like, I'll say that, because I've definitely seen that scene. I've seen that shown off.
I've seen that movie.
Because what, that franchise, like, that movie just makes, that is not Planet of the Apes. Like, as in, what I want to say is...
It was rebooted.
Well, no. What I mean is, correct me if I'm wrong, because I have not seen the original franchise. The original franchise fits within this franchise. As in this universe, apes don't live in cities. They've constructed their own homes in, like, trees or on the ground. Yes. They've built the buildings themselves. But in that movie, they literally are just people. It's a universe where humans are apes.
Yes.
Like, they have the same Statue of Liberty, the same Abraham Lincoln statue in the same city with their own cop cars.
That movie might have been a wormhole.
Yeah, like, that one just makes no damn sense in this universe. But, like, the future, like, the one where they come back from space, that still vaguely fits in this universe where they don't have houses like we build them. They build their own structures that look like they're made by apes.
Yes.
They're not literally living in Washington, D.C. with normal police cars, with normal houses in a Twilight Zone movie.
No.
Like, because that movie just doesn't make any sense with this franchise at all.
That movie
weird
was
fucked. Yeah.
So, there's references even to that from, some of the characters. But, yeah, all in all, I like the story about the Hawks. It makes sense why he has the Hawks from all the trailers I've seen.
Yeah, that...
I loved that.
I'll say it this way. I almost appreciate this movie more for not being a Planet of the Apes movie. In that I don't really care about the exact world building they're going with in terms of, like, where the next movie's going. I don't really care how the humans are going to recover from this. I just thought it was cool that they had this movie where it's like, this city of eagle trainers got attacked by these wild bandits, and they're the son of the village now must go out and save all the kidnapped villagers by, like, attacking them with fucking eagles. It's like, that's goddamn cool. I don't give a shit if this is a Planet of the Apes movie. That's fucking cool.
Yeah, and the attackers, they used homemade cattle prods.
Yeah.
That was something else. Like, I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, that was super cool.
What I was intrigued about was, it's like, how did they know not other ape civilizations weren't out there? Now...
No. That was the whole point. It's that, it's not that, because the main guy in this, it's not that he doesn't know other apes are out there. Or are you talking about the hawk trainers?
I'm saying it didn't seem like the hawk village didn't know about other apes out there.
My guess, this is something we were talking about on the way home, because I don't think that it's really something that anyone can speak to. I was wondering how much of this movie was based on real world locations. Like, how many of the geographic features are based on real places. And because what I'm gonna guess is that this location that these hawk trainers live in is somewhat isolated. It's a somewhat isolated part of California. And so that's how they don't, it's not that they don't know there are other apes out there, it's that they know that the outside world is dangerous, and so they've purposely self-isolated themselves. They're saying, don't go out there, don't cross the tunnel, it's dangerous. And it's similar to Moana. It's not that they don't know other islands exist, or that they don't know other people exist. It's that they have been scared by some threat to becoming self-isolated. And it doesn't matter if there are other apes out there, because they might be a threat too. So.
Yeah, and the lore at which how they think Caesar meant all the rules and stuff, that was genius. Like, both tribes have their, viewpoint. All the bad tribe cares about is apes together strong. They care about strength more than anything else.
Well, and that was also something that Caesar kind of fought against, wasn't it? Wasn't that literally the villain in one of his movies of being like, we should just rise up and overthrow all the people and kill them all.
That was,
apes are strong together.
That was done.
Yeah, and it's like, and he actively fought against that at all possible points of like, no.
Because not only do you need to be together strong, you also need to not kill each other. You have to have trust. That's trust.
Yeah.
Ape not kill ape. Apes together strong, and there's a couple other ones I'm forgetting.
Yeah. Something about working with humans, but like I don't know.
Actually that wasn't really one of the rules.
Yeah, but it's like but that is one of the things he espoused.
But he was kind to humans.
Yeah.
Even though he was wary about it.
Exactly. And that's sort of where cuz that's the big thing about this movie is a lot of it is setting up Noah as like this new big character to replace Caesar, in that he's seeing what other people know, or like what, because his tribe knows basically nothing about Caesar. They don't even really recognize the name. So he just sees all these people fighting over what Caesar stands for, and he sort of comes to the same point as Caesar. He's probably a little bit more willing to fight other apes. He's to protect what he cares about. But he definitely is like, apes must stand together, and apes should be equal to humans. You should not fight with each other.
Caesar came to the realization of equality in the ending of Dawn of the Apes.
Yeah, it's like, and that's the big thing, is that's what the humans, and that's one of the things that happens in this movie, because the human we see is kind of fighting against that. Her mindset is, well, this is our world that we have now lost and must take back. But the other person we see is kind of the opposite of, we should just be subservient to the apes because it's their world now.
Yeah, that was Paul Kirby from Jurassic Park.
And the truth lies in the middle of, humans are responsible for the current world. They have to accept that we can't go back. In the same way as in Jurassic Park, you can't go back to a state where the dinosaurs are extinct. You must accept they are here and will continue forward. So you must work with the apes, or the apes will work against you. And I think that's basically where Noah's at as well. Of, I'm not going to trust people blindly, but I am not going to turn down help when it benefits both of us.
Yeah, so it's going to be really interesting to see what's going to happen in the next movie. Is it still going to be about Noah? Does he find out he's related to Caesar? Probably.
Yeah. I don't think it necessarily matters that he's related to Caesar, because I think what matters is that he embodies what Caesar represents. Because it's funny, because they call him Caesar, and that's just because the guy who had him called him Caesar. But that's always kind of been a tongue-in-cheek thing of like, yes, because he rises up and overthrows the humans, he is Caesar. And the guy in this movie literally takes that on face value and just says, no, I am now Caesar because I run things. And it's like, he's right. That is how it works. He is literally Caesar because he literally runs Rome.
Yep.
In San Francisco. But yeah, it's like, yeah, it's definitely a situation where he embodies the name Caesar, but Noah embodies who Caesar was. A person an ape that's generally just like, yeah, I want all apes to be equal to people. I want us to be not subservient to each other, to not fight with each other. We have equality, we have peace.
Yes.
And it's like, will we get there? No, because this franchise would have no dramatic plot if we got there.
Yeah, so what they're going to do with the next movies is going to be up to the director.
Yep. I mean, we'll see where it goes, but like, I've got no idea.
I think I've went over.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think there's literally anything else we can talk about in this movie. We've covered almost every single scene. So
yeah, it was cool that he also looked through a telescope and probably see Saturn, which is probably
yeah, because
that one
they
scene
definitely
was
had
heading
that Saturn planet, and then they look up at the telescope, and it's like, yeah, I'm guessing he saw Saturn.
Yeah, so I like that scene. That was really good too.
Yeah, but yeah, so now we get to go to the new part of the series where we look at the critical consensus. So, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, we have 80% from critics. Yeah, 80% from critics, 79% from audience. Critic consensus, carving out a new era with lovable characters and rich visuals, doesn't take the crown as best of the franchise, but justifies its continued reign. And I'd say that's pretty
fair.
on the nose. I'd agree with that. It's not the best movie. It's not even the best movie in this franchise. But is it a good movie? Yeah. Like I like all these characters. They're all solid.
Once again, we're tied on viewer consensus and
yeah, it's very good.
Critics.
Yeah, fully agree. Just it's not a bad movie. And for a movie, and here's the thing with movie franchises. When movie franchises go on for this long, when you get up to like Fast 10 levels of movies, when you just keep going and going and going, the best thing you can hope for is that the movie isn't bad. That the movie is just it's a decently good movie in this franchise. That's all you can hope for. This is the problem that the MCU is currently having. At this point, you cannot expect to top Endgame. You can't expect to be the next great movie. You're probably not going to have that many more great movies. This franchise has gone for so long. What you have to hope for is we make a good movie that people will enjoy.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 had an opinion.
Yeah.
So yeah. I still think we can have great movies that are just as good as Endgame and Infinity War.
Yeah, but I don't think that it's going to be common. I think a lot of the new hero movies are not going to be excellent. They're just going to be solid movies. And in some cases, not even that. They're going to be not that great movies. But that's neither here nor there. What is here nor there is that we're at the end of the review. So that's going to be it for this hot take. We will come back next time with a new movie, which, as always, I don't know what is because I'm not looking it up. So we will see you all on the next hot take.
Goodbye.